As we all know, Robin is a sidekick of Batman and has been his sidekick for over 80 years since the 1940s and made the sidekick role insanely popular. With many different people taking the role, he or she has made numerous appearances on both the big and small screen over the years, with several appearances in various animated films as well as video games. But what really makes Robin such a household name and a great sidekick is that he is a very essential part of Batman. Batman's dark tone and grittiness can occasionally consume him to the point where he could potentially cross that line and be too far gone, which makes Robin role as the light that brings him back from the edge and guides him away from the darkness. Robin is a symbol of hope and a reminder to Batman that whatever tragedy or bad thing that he has faced, you can always see the light and you can let that light guide you to a better place. Robin is the light that can guide Batman in a way no one else can. It's why he or she is essential to Batman and why he needs a Robin. Now, over the course of 80 years, there have been 5 different Robins that Batman has taken in. But we will talk about the core 4 and why each one represents a very special part of what makes Batman, Batman.
There he goes, Bruce Wayne on a genuine date. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Starting with the first and most iconic Robin, that is, Dick Grayson, aka Nightwing. Dick is arguably the best member of the Bat family besides Batman and shares a similar origin story to him as well. Dick is considered the best because of his fun, charismatic, witty, lighthearted personality and the way he treats other people. He's a leader who is kind, compassionate, and caring. Dick also learned how to get over the death of his parents and find a way to be happy and not let that pain and trauma affect him like it did Bruce. But the part of Batman that Dick represents is his humanity. Dick's humanity to other people and his kindness to others is the part of Batman that wants to help and save people. It's the part of Batman that becomes the symbol of hope for the people in Gotham. Without it, his anger and lust for vengeance would consume him in a way where he would become something worse. Nightwing is what Batman envisioned to be and hope everyone else can inspire to be as well. Nightwing is what every father would want for their son, and that is to learn from their mistakes and be better than them. Dick not only surpassed Bruce in terms of being a better person, but also being a better hero as well. When Dick took over as Batman, he was the complete opposite of what Bruce was as Batman. He was able to help Damian become a better person and a hero for that matter. He helps, encourages, and trusts his partners and teammates more than Bruce ever could. He was the essential Batman. However, he didn't want to keep up the mantle because he knows what could happen to him if he did. He would become someone dark and lonely. He would slowly turn into Bruce, someone he's trying desperately not to be, which is the main reason why he chose to be his own hero in the first place, to get away from Bruce's shadow and the darkness that surrounds him.
I've struggled for years to get out of Bruce's shadow, to build a life for myself as far away from his world as possible.
It's because of his humanity. His humanity allows him to be the hero and leader everyone around him needs him to be. It's what allows him to inspire hope in people in a way Batman never could. He inspires hope in people who experience trauma like he did and lets them know that you can move past that terrible thing that happened to you and you can live a better life, which explains why he's often depicted as Batman's greatest success, and it's what he represents about Batman. It's what makes him such a beloved, well-written character and the perfect superhero.
You can't stop crime. That's what you never understood. I'm controlling it.
Next is Jason Todd, aka Red Hood, the second Robin. Jason is often considered the black sheep, the misunderstood, and the middle child of the Bat family. He was the exact opposite of what Dick was when he was Robin. He was arrogant, cocky, and didn't like to follow orders. He grew up and lived a different life than Dick. He always had to look out for himself and provide for his sick stepmother, which made him the type of person he was. Before he even became Robin, Bruce encountered him trying to steal the wheels off the Batmobile, which showed us how different he was from Dick. He also didn't agree with Bruce's moral code on how criminals like the Joker should be dealt with, which is why when he is later resurrected and returns to Gotham as the Red Hood, him and Bruce are now on opposite sides. But the thing he has in common with Bruce and the part of Batman that he represents is his anger, vengefulness, and determination. Bruce's anger with his parents being murdered in front of him made him vengeful to seek out justice to criminals and was determined to make sure no one else could experience what he experienced. He could finally let loose on some of that pent-up rage he had within himself every time he threw a single punch or kick, and that's exactly what he saw within Jason. Bruce didn't want Jason to end up as one of the criminals he beats up every night, and decided to give him an opportunity for a better life, and so he decided to make him the second Robin. Jason had that same pent-up rage and brutality to him every time he went out fighting crime as Robin, severely beating down criminals to the point where Bruce had to tell him to stop. So when the Joker kills Jason and Jason gets resurrected, his anger would grow and eventually lead him to being vengeful after coming back as Red Hood, and was determined to make Gotham a safer place with his methods. The anger, vengefulness, and determination of Bruce is what drives him to be Batman and the hero for Gotham. Much like Jason's anger, vengefulness, and determination are what drives him to be Red Hood, but twice as dangerous than Batman ever was. He understands what needs to be done for the greater good, and understands that some villains and criminals are better off dead than being alive. Even Batman himself says that there are enough heroes in the world, and there can be a few outlaws. He also says that Jason is willing to do the things Batman can't when the world needs him to. Even with different ideologies, Jason is arguably the most like Bruce, and represents the most out of him than any other Robin. He is often considered as Batman's greatest failure, but shows us that no matter what your life is like or who you are, you can change your life and who you are, and be granted a second chance at life, which is what makes him one of the best members of the Bat family and one of the best characters in fiction.
Just like Batman, nobody messes with Tim Drake.
Next is Tim Drake, aka Red Robin, the third Robin. In my opinion, Tim is the most underrated Robin out of the four. Even though Tim originally didn't want to be Robin after Jason's death, he was the perfect Robin and partner for Bruce. He made crime fighting easier for Bruce and helped him deal with the unresolved issues he had within himself after Jason's death. Tim didn't have the athleticism and acrobatics like Dick, or the brute strength and street smarts like Jason, but he did have his intelligence and a very strategic mind. What part Tim represents about Batman is his intelligence and his strategic mind. Batman is known for a lot of things, and one of those things is him being one of the smartest people alive and the world's greatest detective. Batman's mind allows him to find and analyze things in a way regular detectives can't. Although he is the world's greatest detective now, Tim will eventually surpass him as the world's greatest detective one day. Tim's mind for someone his age is what made him different from the previous Robins. He was able to figure out Batman and Robin's identities at the age of 9, as well as other superheroes' identities. He figured out riddles from the Riddler, even when Batman, Oracle, and even the Flash couldn't figure out. He was also able to hack into multiple places where most people couldn't. Tim would eventually learn and master martial arts much like his predecessors, and use his mind with his combat training to his advantage. He uses a bow staff that represents him as a person well. Tim uses the staff because it is a non-lethal weapon and to protect people. The staff allows him to reach and attack his opponents from unreachable distances. It also helps him use his brain and figure out different ways to defeat his opponents. Having an EMP in his staff helps him disable all tech within 20 yards from reach, as well as a whistling sound he created at the end of his staff helps him distract his opponents in battle. Much like Batman, Tim has made several gadgets that help him and his partners when he's out in the field. One in particular, Tim has a holographic computer on his arm that helps him figure out things and get information quicker. Therefore, Tim's intelligence is heavily respected and admired by his peers, and is always considered as the best Robin in the Bat family.
Don't look so stunned, Father. I thought you'd be taller.
And now the last and final Robin, Damian Wayne. Damian is the biological son of Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul, and the grandson of the demon Ra's al Ghul. He is the youngest member of the Bat family and has the most to prove. He was kept hidden from his father by Talia so he could become the ultimate weapon and the perfect heir to his father and grandfather. He was trained at a very early age and became a highly skilled assassin at the age of 10. One thing Damian wanted throughout his childhood childhood more than anything was to meet his father, but Talia wouldn't let him until he was considered ready. After spending years of trying to become ready to meet his father, he was finally ready, and Talia took him to Gotham to meet him. Bruce and Damian's relationship started off in the worst possible way a father and son relationship could start off, but in the end, it became a very strong and loving relationship. One thing about Damian, even from the beginning of being with his father, was that they were already very similar in so many ways, which makes the part of Batman Damian represents is his skills and personality. Much like his father, Damian is a very skilled fighter, arguably the best in the Bat family, and a great tactician. Because of his mother, Damian mastered all the facets of life and gained plenty of knowledge throughout his childhood. He understands the aspects of business, technology, and the history of the world. He possesses the same personality traits as his father, with preferring to work alone, being very stubborn and arrogant, much like Bruce was when he first started off as Batman. Even though Bruce started off that way, he eventually learned to trust as well as learn to work with other people. Damian, on the other hand, was much harder to get through to because of the way he grew up with the League. With enough time and effort, Damian eventually learned how to become a better person and learn how to work with other people. He developed a close relationship with his older brother Nightwing and members of the Teen Titans. He became one of the best developed characters in comics and arguably his father's true successor. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the next video.